everybody, welcome back. The sisters are in again. I'll tell you me first. I'm Marnie, senior coach at Handel Group, and this is Lauren Zander, co-founder, chairwoman of Handel Group, creator of the Handel Method, and my baby sister. Thank you for sending all your questions. We got a whole bunch. And remember, if I pick yours, you get $50 off a private coaching session. So just be ready to get your email and your coupon. Okay, Lauren, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
And so, I don't know the questions, so this is like live.
Yes, I like to keep them a secret, so I have extra fun here. Because Lauren's awesome, riffing off of whatever I give her. So it's kind of fun to see, and she has no idea what I'm going to do. Last time, or 2 times ago, we did it on love. This one, we said, send us anything, juicier the better. Send us your questions. All right, Lauren. But of course, we got a bunch of loved ones, which we're kind of partial to. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. After doing therapy, learning to love being alone, and having years of healthy relationships, and knowing when to peacefully part ways, why can't I get over someone who isn't right for me, but whose potential I really believe in, both for himself and for him to become someone who can love me how I deserve?
Wow. So I even think Nietzsche makes fun of women. That they, like, who better than a woman to tell you who you should be, and then try to make you turn into that person, and then get hurt that you didn't, and make it about them. Right? Like, that's a description of like what a woman does in love. It doesn't ever work unless you're okay with that he never gets there. Because he won't, because it's you're assigning who you wish he was, and he's not that guy. And even if he loves you his way, and his way is actually not what you want. You want him to love you your way through him, like you want to puppet the guy. So that will never turn out. So to fall in love with someone is actually to fall in love with who they are. That guy's never picking up his socks, like exactly who he is. Love that man and find the man that you can love as is, or you can try and change him and then find out that at some point that becomes exhausting, and then it's not that sexy anymore, and you've gotten laid enough and he doesn't even care anymore about that because now you're just trying to change him, and it's not attractive. If he was trying to change you every time, you might understand how awful that feels, right? So the bottom line is you need to find someone that you're in love with as is. And your adjustments that you're making are to letting go of how you wish he was and get he is who he is and love that guy. That's the real answer. And it's really okay if you have to do a lot of searching. We love teaching people how to hunt for the guy you really want. How about you? Is that good? There you go.
I mean, we could go all into the 3 H's and which ones don't fit. Yeah. Right? And I also think trying to fit someone into your box, right, is also pointing to where you're selling out and possibly not believing he or she doesn't exist out there, right? Because that's why you're like trying to fix and fit, he's an orange, but I want an apple, right? And then you must not believe your apple is out there, right? And we're like, screw you, your apple's out there. Stop being such a chicken. Stop holding on to that orange. Or
enjoy the orange.
Oh my God.
If you're staying with the orange, really love a good orange, okay? Because that orange is an orange.
It's very true.
An apple. Right? So the moral of the story is find what you're looking for, or be happy with what you found, because that's what it is, right? You don't really want a golden retriever to be a Doberman. It's never turning out.
We've been there. We've been there. All right. Next love question. All right, here, I'll do this one. So it's a long story, so follow me. Follow. I like long stories, people. All right. With an accent a little bit, you can tell. I won't reveal your name. All right. After 12 years of good and bad relationships, bad because of his infidelities, this January I finished with him, and I am concentrated in my personal development and the money area. So she's doing an interview. She's dealing with her money. So I don't want to find someone. Okay. My question is about dating. When someone invites me out, I like the idea. relationship is not a priority, but I don't want to be closed to any kind of date. Yeah. But since I know I prefer bad guys, smart, good person, handsome, but cheaters, I don't know how to react if this happens, so I don't lose my head and I keep my self-confidence.
Yeah. Okay. That's called, that's called friends with benefits, with some rules on who they have to be. So they have to be single. They can't be a married person. So there's some basic rules about them, and that you'll keep those laws and that you'll follow them, and you'll run if they're married, if they're dating someone, if they're seeing someone, that's fine. Because you're just looking for friends with benefits, is what you just described. And that would be great. And be really honest about where you are, what you're dealing with, and that man could then choose that sounds great, I'll do that. Right? So my sister is looking, not this one, this one's married, the other one is looking for really a friend with benefits. Right? And she's having a hard time finding him because many men actually want relationships. And so she just has to keep telling the truth and moving along, right? And she's not going to change her mind no matter what she finds. And she's not going to change his mind no matter how cute he is, right? And that's the rules she's following. And she will find what she's looking for until she decides she wants something else.
Yeah, and if you're in that kind of open relationship, then he's no longer a bad guy. He's not even a cheater because you're just being open. Then he can go out and play because it all is legal. So can you. You're just playing.
Yeah. Yes.
So, sorry, you don't like bad guys anymore.
Yes. You want to hear something wild I was told? I was told by someone yesterday that you know how gays stayed underground, right? And they're like, gays stayed underground, and they finally have been coming out and coming out and coming out. Do you know the other group that's underground that isn't coming out yet, that's even bigger, according to this man, bigger than the gay community? The poly community. Actually, and they're all underground, right? They won't tell people that they're allowed to be in open marriages, and they're really happy, and they're dating outside. Like, they're having a ball, but they won't confess that they're doing it. That's what that man is. Right? That's what he ought to be, honest about his level of sexuality. And if he was honest about it, you could have chosen or said, no, I'm a monogamous creature, right? So you could be monogamous or you could be a little poly, and that's what's really coming into the future, I would bet.
Genius.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes. Good. Okay, cool. All right, another dating one. Last dating one. All right, it's an online dating question. Okay. Is it rude to not respond to messages you get online dating apps? Ignoring feels rude, but responding that I am not interested feels rude too. Is there a nice way to say it? Best to be honest but vague, like you are not my type. Should she say you are not my type?
Well, first you have to call your shot. I answer everyone so I don't leave them hanging, or I'm allowed to leave anybody hanging, right? Like, you're really a type. You want to know what I would do?
I'm curious.
That's a really good question. I probably really would go, no, thank you, good luck.
Would you check off the no thank you? There's like a button.
There is? Yes, I would do that.
You would just do a check.
I would do a check. I would never want someone wondering if I'm coming back. No pun intended.
And if there was no button, would you give him an explanation, or you would just say no thanks?
I would say no thank you, good luck. Good luck on your search.
Okay.
That's it. They get it. And not everyone knows that everyone's voting on everything. And it's simple. Just tell the truth. Right? So that's what I really would do, so that I take care of everyone. And I'm not dying to be nice or not hurt someone's feelings. I'm dying to tell the truth. So you have to vote what's your flavor? What would you prefer back is a good way to ask yourself. Like, what would you like? Would you like a no thank you, or would you like him just to ghost you? Do what you would prefer and stick to that.
Completely.
What would you do?
No, I'm
Are you a ghoster?
No, I would never ghost. Only because maybe in the past, and if I wasn't like as old and I was on the sites and didn't get any coaching, but we've all learned that you get what you give, right? So I coach so many women that get so offended that they'll write an email and get no response whatsoever, and it kills them. So, but in the same vein, they don't respond to everyone, right? They're swiping, someone reaches out and they just ghost them. And worse, you could even, so I guess the question is, so now you're starting to text, because some of them are so quick moving, right? And you ask them what they do for a living. And let's say they say truck driver. What do you then say? So you just say no, thank you. Do you get honest?
If you've been in a real
you started texting back and forth.
So you're on it, like how it depends if you actually feel like you have a connection with this person and you have a relationship.
Right.
I would probably find out everything early so that you don't have to deal with that. Like, ooh, you're really
right. 5 conversations later, and then you kill.
But I also don't think it's. I think if you tell the truth, like, I'm a snob.
Right.
You're never going to like me because I'm too snobby for you.
Right.
Right. He may have one nasty line for you and you deserve it. Take it like a champ and disappear. But tell the truth. Practice telling the truth. Like, don't want somebody on the road. I mean, you could say it that way.
You get good at it. And you just have to also think, how would you want to be told whatever they're going to tell? So if all of a sudden they really prefer brunettes, right? How do you want to be told that? And practice that.
Right. Or you have, it's more like I have a kid, right? I have a 13-year-old and, I don't, okay. Well, that's not, on my, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. It was nice talking to you, right? You figure out how to say the truth. They get it anyway. Don't just ghost.
Completely.
Once you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All right. We're moving on to family.
All right.
I thought it was good since I got my sister here. All right. What to do when someone that we care about, a friend or a sister or any type of person, doesn't want to have any contact with us. When we already said sorry and have done everything that we can, but that person really just doesn't want to let you back into their lives. Where is the limit of self-love or love for the other?
I think you could go for I think what you do is, because you love them and you're holding a candle out for them, like you're going to keep that candle with the cover, right, out,
yes,
right, you're keeping that candle for them. What I would do is come up with something that doesn't feel painful. Like, I'm going to send them a card once a month and just say, I still miss you. Are you ready to forgive me yet? And then send that card once a month. So you're not stalking, but you're really showing them that you're not giving up. And at some point, what I have found in coaching people for over 20 years is that you'll be forgivable at some point. You just don't know when. And that they really will be moved that you haven't given up well past their barking at you, go away. And usually when someone's dumped you at that level, there's a part where it's about you, and then there's a part where it's everything it means to them that you can't even understand. And so you just never giving up is the kindest, most loving thing about your love, right? Like, that's like, I love you, I'll wait, I'll love you, I'll wait, you rejected me, I'll wait. So I have seen terrible ends in relationships and then helped someone understand, don't give up, don't stalk, and it's worked, right? It's completely worked. And it took, if I think about, it can take a year. It can take a year and a half. You do that, and then at some point it doesn't feel good anymore, and it really feels like harsh rejection, and now you're like seething about them never getting over it. And when it gets ugly for you, stop. And then, in 3 to 5 months from then, if you want to send another card, like, I really did give up. It's terrible to give up, but I started getting angry. But then again, I still really love you and miss you. These won't be coming as frequent, right? Right? Wonder when the next one will be. Still have a candle out for you. Hope you call soon. Miss you terribly. Love you always. Bye. Right? You just be true to yourself, right? And you're not doing it just to get the letter back. You're doing it to be true to yourself that you still miss them.
Yeah. And be as sweet and fun and cute, multiple choice, answers are good. Never again. Maybe one to just go play. If you can get in your heart and play with your white flag, send a white flag, whatever you can think of, and matter, right? They matter to you, and that's all you're kind of knocking for. All right, cool. All right, let's see. All right, we got a career one. Let's go for career. All right, it's a story. Let me tell you the story. Okay, it's not that long. Don't worry. All right, been a restaurant operations director for the last 9 years. I'm 36 now. Right before I went on maternity leave in December, ownership changed. As I was on maternity leave, they eliminated my position.
Is that legal?
Okay.
What?
All right. I should have left my job earlier, as it wasn't offering any growth, but I guess fear held me back, and I actually liked what I was doing. But now, I've got a 3-month-old, no job, I want to go back to. That's my parentheses, everybody. No degree, and I don't know what to do with my life. Talk about an upheaval. So now what?
Well, first of all, it's easy to get another one of those jobs. I would go, you can get another one of those jobs. Do you really love it? And you can even figure out how to get another one of those jobs and what's the next 2 jobs up from there, right? So you're a general manager. So if you're in the restaurant business and it actually really works for you, then figure out how to parlay it into what you ultimately want, right? So you don't have to leave your industry. You can find a new job. You can find one closer to you. You can work 2 days a week. You could work 3 days a week, right? You could get yourself back into a job, and you're going to have to start hunting for it. So that's number one, if it's true that you really love your field, okay? But let's say that's not true, and you don't know what you would love to do, and you really want to start to consider something else. There's an awesome exercise I have people do, which is write down things you love to do. Like if you were up at 2 a.m. and you were still reading about it, what is that you're reading about? What are you in love with and you care about? So my husband, no surprise, can read woodworker magazines. Do they seem like they change? Right? It's like the funniest. It's like a motorcycle magazine, right? I think it's the same. Maybe a little advancements, but come on. But he's in love with it and can read it. So you're looking for things you love. And then that's one whole list. I love these things. And then you're going to make a list of what you're really good at, right? I can really do this. And then there's things you don't love and you might even be good at, but you don't love them. Okay? And so now take that area of love that you really are in love with and figure out the jobs that go with it. Okay? And then really write down what you would have to do if you had that job, and then look at your love list, kind of start to analyze what it would take to get a job in that industry doing the parts you love. Then you have to start networking, and you might need to get a really cheap job doing a bit of it. Then there's a way to start to advance in that direction. That's a gist. Probably you could stand some coaching if you really want to change your career. But if you can't afford it at all, find Inner You, because it will totally walk you through it. And you get coaching with it, because there's a coach that's always basically doing calls every week that are free once you buy the Inner You.
And find a great babysitter. And I take that coaching. Lauren did that for me when I was a mom and not wanting to just be that, and knew there was something else, and I had no idea what it was, and she really had me write my list. And at that time I really wanted to be Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. I wanted to write, I knew she wasn't real, but I really wanted to be she, and not to write a sex column, but I knew I wanted to write. And
what was it called?
It was called The Poop. And I wrote about motherhood because I really thought no one was telling the truth about the hell that it was, and as funny as it was, and I was willing to out my asshole for everybody. So that's what I did, and she really made my list. And 2 calls later, I had a column in the Westport News, and it just started from there until it turned into a TV show. It was 8 years. I'm like a snail. Don't follow my lead. But 8 years later, it was a TV show on Hulu. So make your list and start playing, and dream bigger than you want. And good babysitter. All right, that's it. So thank you so much for sending in your questions. Please send more. The longer the story, the better. Juicier. Ask anything. Yeah. We would love to answer it. We're here next Friday. And as another gift for you, somewhere on the screen in the comments is a link to our current reality quiz. And even though it might not sound fun, it actually is really fun. It gets you to see where you are today and where your dream is, and just kind of map that out. So go have fun. I swear it's close to a Cosmo quiz. And we'll be back on Friday. Thank you.
Bye. Great weekend.